Here are 5 things that you can do as a woman to increase your energy. And before you swipe away, I guarantee you haven't heard most of these things, at least not in the format that I'm going to describe it in. And that's because on this page, I bring complex science and natural medicine to you in ways that you can apply and make it simple. And if you're into this kind of content, I really encourage you to follow me, but also save this post because you're going to want to come back later because it's hard to remember all these things. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, please share it with them. The first thing is adaptogens, which if you've been on my page for a while, you know I talk about all the time for perimenopause and menopause. But I don't want you to take just one adaptogen. Like a lot of people will take ashwagandha, and sometimes they'll see great results, and a lot of times you won't see great results because what I've found over the last 10 years plus of practicing medicine is that a combination of adaptogens really do well. So here's the 4 that I would say to look for in combination. Rhodiola rosea. Rhodiola is a little bit more stimulating, so I definitely recommend taking it earlier in the day and not after, 2 or 3 in the afternoon usually. Eleutherococcus, which is Siberian ginseng. Ashwagandha, which is a great adaptogenic herb. And then Schisandra chinensis. This is a berry, and it's a traditional Chinese medicine, but it works amazing, especially in combination with the others. The next thing I want to mention are some nutrients. So there are a lot here, so you wouldn't really look at taking each of these individually. I would say if you're taking a multivitamin, make sure that these nutrients are in there in appropriate doses so that you get the energy impacts that you want. The first one is B vitamins, really in like a B complex form. Preferably you're having methylated folate and methylcobalamin or B12 would be ideal. You want to get all of the B vitamins in appropriate doses because those really run your mitochondria, which are energy producers in your cells. You want to make sure you have enough magnesium. Can be various forms. Just make sure it's a form that's well absorbed, like magnesium citrate or glycinate, and there are others. Selenium is essential, and manganese. Probably don't hear about manganese, not magnesium. Manganese is really important for your antioxidant systems and protects your energy-producing pathways in your mitochondria. And then vitamin C and E. Make sure you're getting enough of both of those together. The third thing is something that impacts your mitochondria, again, the energy producers in your cells. This is called the Warburg effect, and this is an effect that happens in the way that energy is produced. And basically, the primary things that contribute to this negative effect that you don't want to happen is a high-calorie diet, too many calories in combination with no movement. So there's 2 things I'm going to recommend here. And just to say, this Warburg effect that I'm talking about, the name doesn't matter, but this effect matters because it's actually hypothesized that this may be the primary driver of all chronic diseases, at least the primary chronic diseases that we deal with in the United States and other Western countries. The first thing I want you to do is when you wake up in the morning, don't drink coffee right away. Give it 30 minutes. In that 30 minutes, you're letting your cortisol kick in naturally, and it's going to wake you up naturally. But then also what you want to do during that time is some sort of movement. You don't have to work out. Working out can be great in the morning, but it could just be stretching. But do something in that time for even 10 minutes where you're starting to move your body a little bit. And then you can go and have your coffee, but don't overdo the caffeine. A couple of cups of coffee a day really should be adequate. The other thing I want you to work into is intermittent fasting, but here's how I recommend to do it. The ideal spot for most people is a 16-8, where you eat in 8 hours of the day. You eat the same amount of calories, hypothetically, but it's just in a smaller window of time. And then there's 16 hours where you're not eating. Work up to that unless it's really easy for you to go to that. But I usually say start with 12 hours of eating calories, 12 hours of fasting. And then after a week or however long it takes you to feel good in that, then go to a 14-10. And then once that feels good, then go to 16-8. So work up to it. All of these things together will increase your energy, decrease brain fog, and probably help a lot of other symptoms like inflammation. But you don't have to do everything at once. Pick one thing if it feels like a lot to start doing all 5 things at the same time. That might not be sustainable. Again, if you like this content, follow me. I'm happy to have you here.